Hello everyone, hello students. So today we are back again in Kriti tutorials with the analysis of section C of applied maths class 12th paper. Now this is subjective section in which we have 3 mark questions. So step by step detailed solution will be given to you so that you don't lose the marks in the steps. Right? So there are 6 questions in the section as we have, and there is internal choice given in 2 questions. So you have to attempt any one of the 2 given questions, and in internal choice, you know that questions will be from the same chapter. Right? Now let's move on to the first question. Now if we move on to the first question, what we will have? Now we have here integration, right? So integration is there. So integration के लिए आपको दो में से कोई एक क्वेश्चन करना है. Now we have to do any one out of the 2 given questions. So first question is based on long division, right? And the second question is based on by parts. We will do both the questions one by one, and I will explain you according to the step marking as I said, right? So first question में आपको क्या check करना है? Degree of the numerator and the denominator. So here we see that the degree of the denominator is 1 and the degree of the numerator is 3. Correct. So degree of numerator is 3 and the degree of denominator is 1. So what we have to do is we have to now divide. Remember, if degree of numerator is greater than degree of denominator, then we divide long division. That is what we mean. That is dividing a polynomial by another polynomial. So here the degree of the numerator is 3 and the degree of denominator is 1. So we will divide. Now let's divide it. So what we will get? X cube here. Correct? Now by which term shall we multiply first? X square. So what we will get here? X cube plus 2x square. Correct? So now we change the sign. We get minus 2x square down. Just check. We have to change the sign of the numbers, right? So now the next is what we need, minus 2x. So minus 2x square minus 4x. Now again we will change the sign of the numbers, right? Terms that we are getting. So now 4x will come down. So 4x. Now we need 4 here. So what will you get? 4x plus 8. Now again you change the sign. So your remainder will be minus 8. Now what we do after division? After division, we are going to write in a format. Now what is that format? The format is that you have to write the given function. Now what is the given function here? The given function is x cube upon x plus 2, right? So now what we are going to do? We are going to write our numerator and denominator always in the form of quotient plus remainder upon denominator. If this step is correct, then you will not make the error. It becomes very simple to solve. But first you have to make sure that this step is correct for all. Long division has to be clear. Long division, again you will get the marks for that. इफ यू डू लॉन्ग डिवीजन 1 मार्क आपको उसी का मिल जाएगा अगर आपका लॉन्ग डिवीजन करेक्ट होगा. फिर आप उसको फॉर्मेट में रखेंगे. किस फॉर्मेट में? क्वोशंट प्लस रिमाइंडर अपॉन डिनोमिनेटर. सो क्वोशंट क्या है आपका? अभी हमारा क्वोशंट है एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस 2x प्लस 4 and remainder is what? Minus 8. So minus 8 remainder hai, as I said, plus remainder upon denominator. So what is your denominator? X plus 2. यहाँ तक आप पूरा शो करेंगे डिवीजन को and you will write it properly, you will get 2 marks out of 3. Yes, 2 marks out of 3. So because this is the main part, after this we have one line answer, right? So we don't have to do much after this. We have to simply write the answer. So 2 marks you will get till here. 1 mark for the division you will get, 1 mark for this step writing you will get, and therefore you get 2 marks. Now we just have to integrate one term. So x square, that is x cube by 3. 2x का इंटीग्रल एज वी ऑल नो 2x स्क्वायर अपॉन 2. 4 का इंटीग्रल इज 4x एंड माइनस 8. 1 अपॉन x प्लस 2 का इंटीग्रेशन क्या होता है? log x प्लस 2, राइट? सिंपल इंटीग्रेशन एंड प्लस c. डू नॉट फॉरगेट प्लस c. If you don't write plus C, you get half mark deducted. Remember, plus C is very, very important. So this is the question which is based on integral calculus and you have to simply evaluate it. So this is evaluation based question. I repeat one more time that we have to check the degree. If the degree of numerator is greater than the degree of denominator, then we divide. We divide by long division. And then we write the entire function in which format? Quotient plus remainder upon denominator. So here your quotient is what? X square minus 2x plus 4. What is your remainder? Minus 8. So therefore we have written in this form. And then we integrate one term and therefore we get our answer. If you want, you can cancel 2 by 2 also. Right? So that will be your final answer. No need to take LCM or anything. You can just leave your answer here and you will get full 3 marks, right? On the final step, 1 more mark you will get. If you don't write plus C, half will be deducted. So just make sure of that. Now let's take the second question for the same question number 26. Now this is the question which is based on by parts formula. Again integration का क्वेश्चन है, इवेल्युएट करना है आपको और कौन सा कॉन्सेप्ट लगाना है? बाई पार्ट्स. बाई पार्ट्स का एक डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला होता है, राइट? चलिए बाई पार्ट्स का क्या फॉर्मूला है? वी हैव टू इंटीग्रेट यूजिंग बाई पार्ट्स. बाई पार्ट्स में फर्स्ट वी टेक फर्स्ट फंक्शन एंड सेकेंड फंक्शन. नाउ फर्स्ट फंक्शन और सेकेंड फंक्शन के लिए कौन सा फॉर्मूला आप यूज करते हैं? आइलेट. आइलेट से हम कंपेयर करते हैं कौन सा फंक्शन फर्स्ट लिया जाएगा और कौन सा फंक्शन सेकेंड लिया जाएगा. यहाँ पे हमें दो फंक्शंस दिख रहे हैं, एक लॉग का फंक्शन दिख रहा है और एक अलजेब्रा का फंक्शन दिख रहा है. और हमारे आइलेट में एल पहले आता है, तो जो पहले आता है उसको फर्स्ट फंक्शन लेते हैं और जो बाद में आता है उसको सेकेंड फंक्शन लेते हैं. तो हम log x को फर्स्ट फंक्शन लेंगे और एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 1 को हम सेकेंड फंक्शन लेंगे. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद हमारे पास क्या फॉर्मूला होता है? फर्स्ट फंक्शन एज इट इज इंटीग्रल ऑफ सेकेंड फंक्शन माइनस इंटीग्रल ऑफ डेरिवेटिव ऑफ फर्स्ट फंक्शन into integral of second function and then the integral of the whole. ये हमारे पास है बाई पार्ट्स का फॉर्मूला. और सिंपल टर्म्स में लिखा है, देखिए फर्स्ट फंक्शन और सेकेंड फंक्शन आपको सिलेक्ट करना है और फिर इस फॉर्मूले के अकॉर्डिंग आपको उसको अप्लाई करना है. ठीक है, तो अभी देखिए आप इसको कैसे करेंगे. तो फर्स्ट फंक्शन हमारा क्या बन जाता है? लॉग एक्स. सेकेंड फंक्शन हमारा क्या है? एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 1. ठीक है, अब नीचे क्या लिखना है? सेकेंड टर्म में हमें डी बाई डी एक्स ऑफ log x, दैट इज अवर फर्स्ट फंक्शन, इनटू इंटीग्रल ऑफ सेकेंड फंक्शन और दोनों का हमें क्या करना है? मल्टीप्लीकेशन. ठीक है, नाउ वी हैव टू सिंपली यूज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन एंड डिफरेंशिएशन. तो यहीं तक हमको 1 मार्क मिल जाता है. हमें बाई पार्ट्स का फॉर्मूला लिखना भी ज़रूरी है क्योंकि ये 3 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है. तो आपको हाफ मार्क इस फॉर्मूले का मिलेगा, हाफ मार्क इस सब्सटीट्यूशन का मिलेगा. So you will get 1 mark till here. Then for the next step, what will you do? You will do log x and then you integrate x square. जिसका integration होता है x square plus 3 plus x and minus. Again you will differentiate it. So what will you get? 1 upon x and in bracket you will get x square by 3 plus x. अब हमें इसको फिर से इंटीग्रेट करना है. अगेन यू विल गेट हाफ मार्क फॉर दिस स्टेप, राइट? सो अब हमें इसको फिर से इंटीग्रेट करना है. तो अभी फर्स्ट टर्म तो हमारा पूरा हो गया, इसको हम कुछ नहीं टच करेंगे, एज इट इज लिखेंगे log x एक्स क्यूब बाई 3 प्लस एक्स माइनस, राइट? अभी हमारे पास अंदर हमें फिर से इंटीग्रेट करना है जो सिंपल पावर रूल से इंटीग्रेट होगा. सो 1/3 इज कांस्टेंट इन द फर्स्ट टर्म, करेक्ट? एंड what will you get here? X cube upon x is x square plus x upon x is 1. So that is your function now. So again half mark you will get for this, right? So what will you get now? Final answer, that will be the final step for you. Log x x cube upon 3 plus x minus, now x square का integration is x cube upon 3 और एक और 3 है आपके पास. So 3 into 3 क्या हो जाएगा? 9 और 1 का इंटीग्रेशन क्या होता है? x. लेकिन आपके पास एक माइनस बाहर भी है तो प्लस की जगह क्या आएगा? माइनस प्लस माइनस. एंड प्लस सी, ये नहीं भूलेंगे आप, एंड देन यू गेट 1 मार्क फॉर द फाइनल आंसर। चेक करिए एक बार हमें बाई पार्ट्स कैसे लगाना है। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है बाई पार्ट्स में फर्स्ट और सेकंड फंक्शन को चूज करना। अगर आपने फर्स्ट और सेकंड फंक्शन को ठीक से चूज किया है तो आपका आंसर कभी भी गलत नहीं आएगा। और उसके लिए हम कौन सा रूल यूज करते हैं, आइलेट। आइलेट का मतलब फर्स्ट फंक्शन, इनवर्स फंक्शन, सेकंड लॉग, फिर अलजेब्रिक, फिर ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक, फिर एक्सपोनेंशियल। अभी हमारे पास दो फंक्शंस हैं, लॉग और अलजेब्रिक। तो log will be taken as first function and algebraic will be taken as second function. So you have to make sure that first function as it is integral of second function minus differentiation of first function into integral of second function. इसको आप इंटीग्रेट करेंगे। सो इंटीग्रेशन हमने किया तो हमें फाइनल आंसर मिला। डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू राइट प्लस सी, राइट। सो दोनों क्वेश्चन इजी हैं, फॉर्मूला बेस्ड है, इजी हो क्वेश्चन। अगर हम देखें तो सेकंड पार्ट ज़्यादा इजी है क्योंकि इसमें मिस्टेक होने के चांसेस कम है, क्योंकि डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला यूज़ करना है। ठीक है, तो दोनों क्वेश्चंस हमारे इंटीग्रेशन पे थे और हमने इन दोनों को इवेल्युएट किया। अभी हम आते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे। नाउ दिस इज द क्वेश्चन विच इज बेस्ड ऑन मैट्राइसेस, बट इट इज कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, रियल लाइफ एग्जाम्पल से है और इसलिए एप्लीकेशन ऑफ मल्टीप्लीकेशन ऑफ मैट्राइसेस है। इसको थोड़ा ध्यान से देखिएगा क्योंकि इसमें मैट्राइसेस का रूल ऑफ मल्टीप्लीकेशन शुड बी क्लियर टू ऑल। So cost of two toys A and B are rupees 50 and rupees 75. On a particular Sunday, shopkeeper P sells toys, 7 toys of toy type A and 10 toys of type B, whereas shopkeeper Q sells 8 toys of type A and 6 toys of type B. Find income of both shopkeepers using matrix algebra. अगर आप इसको विदाउट मैट्रिक्स करेंगे तो आपको 0 मार्क्स मिलेंगे बिकॉज दे हैव आस्क्ड यू टू यूज मैट्रिक्स algebra. So now we have to simply मल्टीप्लाई, बट मल्टीप्लिकेशन के लिए आपको मैट्रिक्स के रूल्स आने चाहिए, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। So we have to make the matrix, right? One will be the matrix for cost and the other will be the items sold, right? Because अगर हम items को cost से multiply करेंगे तो हमें income मिल जाएगा शॉपकीपर का। अगर आप इसको एक बहुत ही simple terms में करेंगे तो आप कैसे करेंगे इसको? You will multiply the cost of two toys A and B with their quantities, correct? And you will get the income of both. So अगर आप इसको सॉरी, अगर आप इसको सिंपल वे में करेंगे तो कैसे करेंगे? पी के लिए अगर आपको इनकम निकालना है तो हाउ विल यू फाइंड? राइट, यू विल मल्टीप्लाई 7 toys of A type with the cost of A, right? And you will multiply 10 toys of type B with the cost of B. So you will get the income of P. Very simple question. And Q income के लिए what will you do? Q income के लिए again you will do the same thing, that you will multiply the type A twice, that is 8 with 50 plus 6 with 75. But if you do this directly, you will get 0 marks because we have to frame the matrix. We have to use matrix algebra. तो यही इक्वेशन हमें लेके आना है बट मैट्रिक्स के थ्रू लाना है, तो वो कैसे लेके आएंगे हम? सो लेट्स मेक द मैट्राइसेस, राइट? सपोज वी हैव फर्स्ट मैट्रिक्स ऑफ कॉस्ट. सो कॉस्ट मैट्रिक्स, let's make it 750 and 75. Right? What is the order of this matrix? 2 by 1 because it has 2 rows and 1 column. Now we have to make the matrix for the types of toys. So let's make a matrix for that. Type A toys, type B toys. Correct? And we have two shopkeepers, P and Q. राइट? सो पी का इनकम निकालना है और क्यू का इनकम निकालना है। सो पी के पास टाइप ए के कितने टॉयज हैं? 7. और टाइप बी के कितने टॉयज हैं पी के पास? 10. एंड देन क्यू के पास कितने हैं? ए के 8, क्यू के पास बी के कितने हैं? 6. नाउ दिस इज द मैट्रिक्स फॉर type A, type B twice, which shopkeepers P and Q are selling out respectively, right? So they are going to sell this. Now we have to find the income of the both. Now here we have to be very careful with the matrix multiplication rule. Now what is the order of this? 2 by 2 मैट्रिक्स है। तो अभी हमें कौन सा मैट्रिक्स पहले लिखना है और कौन सा बाद में लिखना है उसका हमें कैसे पता लगता है? अगर हमने उल्टा किया फिर से हमें मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे। मैट्रिक्स फॉर्मिंग के हमें ऑफकोर्स मार्क्स मिलते हैं, 1 mark for this matrix formation. We will get 1, we will get mark for putting it in the correct order of multiplication, and 1 mark we will get for the final step. So basically half of mark will be there for both the matrix, right? So 1 mark total for the matrix formation. Now what is the rule of multiplication? The rule of multiplication is, रूल ऑफ मल्टीप्लिकेशन क्या है हमारे पास? रूल ऑफ मल्टीप्लिकेशन, रूल ऑफ मल्टीप्लिकेशन इज number of columns, correct? Number of columns in first matrix, right? फर्स्ट मैट्रिक्स में शुड बी इक्वल टू, किसके इक्वल होना चाहिए? सेकेंड मैट्रिक्स में नंबर ऑफ रोज, तभी हम दो मैट्रिक्स को मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हैं। तो हमें कौन सा मैट्रिक्स पहले लिखना है बताइए? किसमें हमारे नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स इज इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ रोज इन द सेकेंड मैट्रिक्स। ये हमारे पास रूल होता है। अगर ये रूल होता है तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग कौन सा मैट्रिक्स पहले आना चाहिए? उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमारा टाइप ए टाइप बी वाला मैट्रिक्स पहले आना चाहिए और कॉस्ट का मैट्रिक्स बाद में आना चाहिए। सो हाउ विल यू राइट नाउ कि फॉर द इनकम व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू मल्टीप्लाई। सो व्हाट वी हैव टू फाइंड इनकम हियर। सो इनकम हमें कैसे मिलेगा? इनकम हमें मिलेगा 7, 10, 8, 6 को किससे मल्टीप्लाई करके? 50 और 75 से मल्टीप्लाई करके। अभी आपको इसका फिर से 1 मार्क मिल जाएगा एग्जाम में, क्योंकि ये आपने करेक्ट पोजीशन में रखा है। अगर आप रॉन्ग पोजीशन में लिखेंगे तो आपको सिर्फ 1 मार्क मिलेगा मैट्रिक्स फॉर्मेशन का। अभी हम करते हैं इसको मल्टीप्लाई, मल्टीप्लिकेशन रूल बनाना है हमें। सो मल्टीप्लिकेशन रूल क्या होता है? फर्स्ट रो विथ फर्स्ट कॉलम, that will give you the first element and corresponding elements are added. So what will you do? 7 into 50 plus 10 into 75. सेकेंड आपके पास क्या बनेगा? 8 इंटू 50, दैट इज सेकेंड रो विथ फर्स्ट कॉलम, प्लस 6 इंटू 75। देखिए ये वही आ गया जो आपने स्टार्टिंग में बनाया था। तो वही चीज हम सिर्फ मैट्रिक्स के अकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं, बाकी कोई चेंज नहीं है। सो डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड, राइट, कि हमारे पास कोई डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है। नहीं, सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है जो आप करते आए हैं। मैथमेटिक्स चेंज नहीं होगा, बट मेथड्स चेंज हो जाते हैं। ठीक है, नाउ वी हैव टू सिंपली ऐड इट अप। सो 350 प्लस 750, आप चाहे तो डायरेक्ट आंसर भी लिख सकते हैं। एंड हियर वी गेट 400 प्लस 450। ठीक है, तो अभी हमारे पास क्या आ जाता है? दोनों का इनकम। सो अगर हम दोनों को ऐड करेंगे तो हमें क्या मिलेगा? 1100 और 850। सो इनकम ऑफ पी एंड इनकम ऑफ क्यू वी विल गेट। सो हमें फाइनल आंसर लिखना जरूरी है। कंक्लूडिंग स्टेटमेंट, फिर से कंक्लूडिंग स्टेटमेंट क्या होगा? इनकम ऑफ शॉपकीपर पी इज 1100 एंड इनकम ऑफ शॉपकीपर क्यू इज 850 रुपीज। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है लिखना, correct? So final statement has to be written. Income of shopkeeper P is 1100 rupees. Clear? Income of shopkeeper Q is 850 rupees. So they can ask you who has earn more, what is the difference of their income, any type of question can be asked. So final concluding statement is very very important, right? Is it clear to everyone? How do we do this question? It is simply based on matrix algebra. बट उससे पहले अगर आप एक रफ में इक्वेशन बना लेंगे तो आपके लिए इजी होगा कि हमें ठीक से आएगा। और मल्टीप्लिकेशन का रूल बिल्कुल क्लियर होना चाहिए। अगर आपके पास मल्टीप्लिकेशन का रूल क्लियर नहीं है देन यू विल फेस द प्रॉब्लम एंड यू माइट लूज योर मार्क। सो स्टेप बाय स्टेप अगर आप करेंगे और रूल्स को याद रखेंगे देन इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू। चलिए अभी हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हमारा क्वेश्चन 28। इसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि वी हैव टू फाइंड द इंटरवल्स इन विच द फंक्शन इज इंक्रीजिंग और डिक्रीजिंग। So this is based on application of derivatives and has to be evaluated, and we have to be very well understood with the concept and the conditions of increasing and decreasing function. So चलिए आपको फिर हम बताते हैं स्टेप बाय स्टेप इसको कैसे सॉल्व करना है, कैसे आप फुल 3 मार्क्स स्कोर कर सकते हैं। उससे पहले हम एक छोटा सा रिकैप लेते हैं कंडीशंस का। क्या स्टेप्स करने होते हैं हमें फंक्शन को इंक्रीजिंग और डिक्रीजिंग शो करने के लिए। ठीक है, नाउ वी हैव टू सिंपली बेस्ड ऑन increasing and decreasing steps, as I said. Now what are the steps that we have to follow? First step, we have to find f dash x, correct? So we have to find f dash x. Now what we have to do, we have to equate f dash x to 0. Clear? We have to equate f dash x to 0. Then we have to, as we equate f dash x to 0, we have to find critical points. We find critical points. Now after finding critical points, the next step is we have to frame integrals. Sorry, we have to find intervals, right? So once we find the intervals, we will decide whether the function is increasing or decreasing by using the conditions. Now we have to simply do what? We have to first differentiate it. Now what is the function given to you? Fx is 2x cube minus 9x square plus 12x minus 5. Now we have to differentiate it. Now if we have to differentiate it, we have to simply use the rule, power rule first, because it's a polynomial function. So what will be the first answer? 6x square. Then power rule again we use 18x. Then again power rule we get 12. So what is the power rule in differentiation? So we will write it here. Dx raised to n is n x raised to n minus 1. So for this step you get half mark if you do the differentiation correct. Now we equate it to 0, right? Second step we will do. Now by equating to 0 we have to find critical points. That is third step after that. So 6x square minus 18x plus 12 is equal to 0. So 6x square minus 3x plus 2. Now we have to do middle term splitting. So middle term splitting, how will you do? So for middle term splitting, you have a simple rule which you have been doing. So 3 has to be splitted up, minus 2x minus x plus 2. So if I just do the factorization, what will I get? X minus 2. If I take x common, let's do it step by step. Let's do not skip the steps in the starting. So now what we get? 6x minus 1, x minus 2. Now we are equating it to 0. So first what we did, we just found the f dash x, then we equate f dash x to 0 to find the critical points. For that, we have to do the factorization of f dash x. That is very important part. Now, as I just said, we have to find critical points. Now, critical points will be what? Equating the factors to 0. So what are our critical points? X is equal to 1, x is equal to 2. So there are two critical points. Once we get the critical points, we have to find the fourth step, that is intervals. Now what will be the intervals? Now no interval is given here in the book, in the question, right? So we have real valued function, that is from minus infinity to infinity. So now we have from minus infinity to infinity number line, and just locate the critical points here in the order. In the order, that's very important, in the increasing order. माइनस इंफिनिटी टू इंफिनिटी में जाना है और इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में फिर क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स पोजीशन देख के प्लेस करिए. Now we have the intervals with us. Now what are the intervals that we are getting here? So the intervals that we are getting here are minus infinity to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to infinity. Right? So minus infinity to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to infinity. So three intervals are there. Now after this we have to apply the conditions of increasing and decreasing function. Now what are the conditions of increasing and decreasing function? Let's write the conditions here first. If f dash x is greater than 0, then it is Or you can write equal to also, because strictly word is not there, so it is increasing function in the interval. If f dash x is less than equal to 0, then it is decreasing function in the interval. Right? So now we have to check the intervals. For that, the best part is to draw the table. So half mark you will get for this, 1 mark you will get for the intervals and the critical points. Yes, again here half mark, and 1 mark will be for the final answer. Or your conditions also are to be written, students, correct, for increasing and decreasing. Now let's see the table that we are going to make. That's very important step. 1 mark will be for the table. Now the table will have 3 columns in it. First intervals, then sign of f dash x, and then your nature of the function, that is increasing or decreasing. This table says everything in itself, but before table you have to follow all these steps to get full 3 marks. Now we have 3 intervals here: minus infinity to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to infinity. Now we will check the sign of f dash x. Now for checking the sign of f dash x, the easiest way is just see this factorized form. That's it. फैक्टराइज फॉर्म को देखिए, फॉरगेट अबाउट इक्वल टू जीरो, दैट वी हैव नथिंग टू डू नाउ, बट जस्ट सी द फैक्टराइज साइड. Now we have to think of any number in our mind which is between minus infinity and 1. Think of any number in your mind. Let's think the easiest number, that is 0, suppose. Now if you are thinking of 0, so we have to think of the numbers that we are getting here. That is, just put 0 in your integral. Just put 0. So what will you get? Hmm. Correct. Try to do it. So 0 minus 1 is what? Negative. 0 minus 2 is what? Negative. And two negatives will become what? Positive. And if f dash x is greater than 0, then the function is increasing. So here the interval in which the function is increasing is first interval, right? इस इंटरवल में पॉजिटिव आया क्या? f dash x. Second interval 1 to 2. Think of any number between 1 to 2. That is 1.5. So just think of it in your mind and then write the sign. So 1.5 minus 1 is positive. 1.5 minus 2 is negative. So positive negative becomes negative. 6 we are ignoring because 6 is constant. It will not change with the values that you are putting. So just the factors are important here. So in this the function is decreasing. So here f dash x is decreasing, negative. Now the next 2 to infinity. 2 to infinity, think of any number greater than 2. So if we think 3, so 3 minus 1 is positive. 3 minus 2 is also positive. So two positives becomes positive. So again your function is increasing. Yes. Clear? So negative only for one interval, 1 to 2. And we have increasing function in two intervals, minus infinity to 1 and 2 to infinity. So that will give you the final answer. Clear to all? Yes. Remember the steps. It will help you a lot. Without making the mistake, you will be able to get full marks. And 1 mark will be for this final two. Right? So let's move on to the next. Now, this is demand and supply functions under the pure market competition are so and so, where P is the price and X is the quantity of the commodity. Using integrals, find consumer surplus. Now, already they have written here using integrals, so it's an application of integration and it's formula based. We have to use the formula of consumer surplus, nothing else. Right? So, we have to simply use the formula for consumer surplus. Now, for consumer surplus, first we have to find equilibrium price and equilibrium commodity. Right? X0 and P0 is supposed to be found. Now, for equilibrium price, we have to check the condition of equilibrium. So, what is the condition of equilibrium? The equilibrium condition is PD is equal to PS. From there only you will be able to find P0 and X0, that is equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, right? So where the both will meet. So now what you have here, 16 minus x square is equal to 2x square plus 4, right? So if I solve it, what will I get? 16 minus 4 is 3x square. So what will you get? 12. So you get 4. So you get xs plus minus 2. So minus 2 not possible. You will ignore it because commodity cannot be negative. Just write it there. Commodity not be negative. Correct? And then what you have here? Commodity cannot be negative. So now your x0 is plus 2 only. Now, according to this, if x0 is 2, what will be the p0? P0, that is the price at this x2. So you can put it in any of the following, demand or supply, because it's going to be same for both. So if I put it 16 minus 2 square, so 16 minus 4 is 12. So that is your equilibrium price, right? So x0, p0. Now you will get, see the marks. It's 3 mark question, 1 mark you will get for this x0 evaluation, half mark you will get for this, finding the values and all. So pura evaluate karke till now also you will be able to get 1.5 mark. Now you will have half mark for consumer surplus formula. So what is the consumer surplus formula? The consumer surplus formula tells you that 0 to x0 we have demand function minus p0 x0. So half mark you will get for formula also if you write the correct formula. If you are making somewhere error, forget it, but at least write the formula also for the correct marking and step marking marks. Now just put the value. What is x0 to? What is your demand function? 16 minus x square dx and minus p0 x0. So 2 into 12, right? So consumer surplus, producer surplus, these questions are very easy to solve because they are just formula based. Simple calculations, polynomial function mostly we have, for those integration is also easy. So what is the integration of 16? 16x. What is the integration of x square? X square cubed by 3. And we have to go for the limits. Minus 24. Now let's apply the limits. For 0 it will be 0. For 2 we have what? 16 into 2 32 minus 8 by 3. And here we have minus 24. So 32 minus 24 will be how much? We have simply 8 minus 8 by 3. So what you have here? 24 minus 8 by 3, that is 16 by 3. Let's check. Is it clear to everyone? So that is now units. That's it. Nothing, because हमें कोई quantity नहीं दी है, कुछ नहीं दिया है. So our consumer surplus is 16 by 3 units. That's it. That is your final answer. And 1 mark for the final. So in all you get 3 marks. So it's a simple formula based. First what we did, first we find the equilibrium price and equilibrium commodity, right? And then after that we use the formula of consumer surplus and integrate it. Just simply use the formula, nothing else. Now, there was internal choice in this question, right? So that we take up here. So the next was the same question from the same topic. So it was producer surplus. That was the only difference. So half of the steps will be same. So it's application of integration again, and it is going to be again formula based, right? So we have here again producer surplus. So first thing we have to find is again going to be equilibrium price and equilibrium commodity. So here again we are going to equate demand function and supply function. So PD is equal to PS again. So 56 minus x square is equal to 8 plus x square by 3. Right? Again we take it 56. 8 will come this side. X square will go that side. Just swap it. Now 56 minus 8 will be 48. And if I just solve it, I get 4x square by 3. Now what will you get on solving it? 48 into 3 upon 4 x square. So solve it in a simple way. So if I just solve it, I get 36. So what is your x coming? X is plus minus 6. Again minus 6, not possible because commodity cannot be negative. Because commodity cannot be negative. Cannot be negative. Correct? Just write it there. So what is your 6? So your x0 is 6, right? And what will be your p0 corresponding to this? You can again use any of the two, whether the demand function or the supply function, right? So what will you get? 56 minus x square, that is 36, so it comes out to be 20. So till here again you will get how many marks? Again you will get 1.5 till here, right? Now we come to the producer surplus formula. Now what is the producer surplus formula? Producer surplus formula and consumer surplus have a very minute difference. So here what is the formula for producer surplus? Producer surplus formula is P0 X0 minus 0 to X0 PS DS. Now this is again carrying half mark. Right, formula always carry a mark. It's always good to learn all the formulae, and at least if you substitute the values correctly, you will get the mark. So now here again what do you have? 20 into 6, right? The value which we have already calculated. So 0 to 6, what's our supply function? 8 plus x square by 3. Now we are going to simply integrate it. So 120 minus, what is that integration? 8x. What is the integration here? Do not forget there are two threes now, so it will become 9. 0 to 6. So now we have to simply put up the values. So what do you have? 8 6 are 48 and 6 cube upon 9. And if we put 0, we get simply 0. So 6 cube upon 9. So again if I divide it, right? 24. What we are getting? 24. So 120 minus 48 plus 24. So in all, what will you get? 120 minus 72, which will give you the answer 48 units again. Because again here no units are given to you. So that is your final answer. And again for this last step, you will get 1 mark. So it's very important to know the formulae, and both are formula based. So any of the two can be done. So there's nothing like that whether to opt for the first part or the second. Both the questions are equally important and equally easy to do. They both are formula based. Right? Now let's move on to the next. Now this is a very easy question which is simply based on financial maths, EMI, but because it is a simple question on flat rate, so it's very easy to calculate. So it will hardly take any time, but full 3 marks scoring. Now let's read the question first. Mr. Surya borrows a sum of rupees 5 lakh with total interest paid rupees 2 lakh, and he is paying an EMI of rupees 12,500. Calculate the loan tenure. That is, you have to find for how much time did he took the loan, or N, that is the number of years or the number of months that we are going to calculate. Right, now what's the formula for the flat rate method? For the flat rate method, the formula is very easy. Now let's write the initials first of all. Right, it's always good to write the initials first. Now the total amount that he has taken from the bank is 5 lakh, right? What he has taken? 5 lakh rupees. Now interest that he has paid is 2 lakh, right? Now EMI that he is going to pay is 12,500 rupees. EMI is always monthly, right? So now he has been paying the EMI of rupees 12,500. Now we have to calculate the loan tenure. Now what is the formula for flat rate? Very simple formula we have for P plus interest, that is principal plus interest upon the time that you have been paying. Now here the time is going to be in months, because N will be in months, because EMI is paid every month. That's what I said. EMI means equally monthly installments. So N here in this formula, it will be in months. Remember, so N that you are going to calculate here is in months. That will give you, because you are going to divide the total amount by the number of months you have been paying it. So EMI is 12,000. Let's do the substitution. Principal is 5 lakh. Interest is 2 lakh, and N. So what will you get? N 7 lakh upon 12,500. Let's do the calculation simply. Let's divide it by 5 first. So what will you get? 1400, and again if I divide it by 5 I get 280. Now if you divide it you get 56. So it's going to be 56 months. That is, he has paid 56 EMI. So that's a simple question which is based. Now here how do they divide? It's a very simple question. Now here formula will carry a mark. Lot of 5, if 3 mark is there, so this will be 1.5, and this calculation will give you 1.5. So that is very important. So formulae are always important. Though it was a very easy question, so this is how it increases the marks also. So here if you write the EMI formula, you write the initials and all, they will give you 1.5, and then by substituting you can find n. So remember, when it is flat rate, simple formula that is to be used is EMI is principal plus interest upon total number of EMIs paid, that is n. Right? Now this was a very simple question. Now let's come to the next question, which is again from the same unit of financial maths. Now in financial maths, this is the other topic, that is sinking fund. Now, Mr. Sharma wants to send his daughter abroad for higher studies after 10 years. He sets up a sinking fund in order to have rupees 5 lakh after 10 years. How much should he set aside biannually into an account paying 5% per annum compounded annually? Now, here, how much money he wants? Later on, 5 lakh, and he is going to deposit some amount. Biannually means semi-annually, right? Biannually means semi-annually, that is 2 times a year. He is going to deposit some amount for 10 years so that he could get 5 lakh, and the interest that he's going to give his payment is going to pay him 5% interest, right? So what will be the amount that he has to keep aside? Now for that again we need the initials first of all, and then we will be substituting it in the formula. Again, formula will always carry the mark. Now he is going to set aside some amount. Correct. Now first let's see total amount is what? Total amount is 5 lakh. I is R upon 200 here, right? I have told you in the previous section also that when it is semi-annually, we have to divide it by 2. So R by 100 ki jagah what we will get? R by 200. So that is going to be 5 upon 200. Now you can convert it into decimals also, because the value that will be provided to us will be for the decimals. So what will you get on dividing it? 1 upon 40, which is 0.025. Correct. Now what is your time? Let's take it with n again here, but here it is in years now. Okay. Now what we have to find? Let's denote it with R. That is to be amount to be deposited. Amount to be deposited. Right? Initials are always important to write. Now what is the formula? Now the formula comes out to be R is equal to IS upon 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. Right? Now that is the formula for sinking fund. Correct? So now what is I? The I is, now substitute the values, 0.025. What's your sinking fund amount? Total amount 5 lakh. Now 1 plus I, that is 1 plus 0.025 raised to. Now here n is 20, 10 years. So now he is going to do it 20 times. So now here it will be what? 20. Even if you want, you can write it here also, because he is doing semi-annually. So 10 into 2 is 20 times he is going to pay. Right? Minus 1. Now if you see, this value is already given you. So calculation becomes quite easy for you. You don't have to use log or anything. You don't have to look for any table also. You have to simply calculate it. So what will you do now? 0.025 into 5 lakh upon 1.6386 minus 1. Now let's do the calculation. Let's put it in the bracket, which will remove this decimal and makes our calculation easier. Right? So 25 into 5 is 12500 upon 0.6386. Now again, if you remove this decimal, 4 zeros will go up. Now do the long division for this calculation very sincerely. Do not be in hurry. See, first question they gave you on the flat rate, this question might take some time, it's okay, right? Don't be in hurry ki nahi nahi I have to do it very fast. No, don't make it that way, right? So you have to simply divide it. If you want to reduce it first, you can reduce it. We can reduce it by 2 first. So what we will get, 3198, and here what we will get, 6, 2, 5, and then we have 5 zeros. You can still reduce it further, 1599, and now if I divide it, 3125, 4 zeros now, right? So this is what we have. Now if I divide it now, what we are going to get, suppose I do the long division, so what will I get, 1, 9, 1599, 574.07, right? So this is the amount which has to be deposited by him, right? Every 6 months. So this is the amount that he has to keep aside in every 6 months to get 5 lakh rupees after 10 years. So he will have to keep it 20 times. That is very, very important. Right now, if you go with the marking for this again, the marking will be done according to the formula and everything. Now, here marking will include these things also. I, what you have taken, time, what you have taken. So half mark will be for these two also. If you have put it correct in your calculations, r by 200 and n is going to be 20, so then also you will get half mark. Then again here you will get 1 mark for this formula also. So initials are always important, formula is always important, and then final mark will be for this. So this is how we divide 3 marks for this sinking fund question. So right. So students, please, we have given you a detailed solution. Go through it. It will help you a lot. Right. If you have any queries, you can put it to me. Right. We'll come back to it. Okay. Thank you everyone, and I hope you all have understood it. Thank you. Thank you everyone.